Welcome to the Manage More Deep Dive sessions, in which we talk to Manage More alumni about their personal journeys. And in today's session about leadership and personal development, we have two very successful alumni in that field. I'm very happy to have you both here, Simon and Annika, and maybe you could start introducing yourselves shortly.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Annika and I'm part of Generation 29. So I'm a bit far from Manage More by now. It's over 5 years that I graduated. And in the meantime, I built the Manage More spin-off Funride. As a first employee from like 0 to over 150 people that we are today. And I've also started a professional training as a systemic coach.
Really, really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Simon. I finished Manage More about 1 year ago as part of Generation 36. And now I'm building our family business together with my father and my sister, which is also a really exciting job.
Really cool. Simon, I actually heard that your first semester with the bootcamp was like really different or special in your personal development. Maybe you could share a bit more about the police stations, PowerPoint karaoke and stuff like that. I'm very, very interested in that.
Oh yeah. Let me just say that the first 2 weeks of Manage More was such a wild ride. Because I applied 2 times actually, and the second time I got in, I was really excited, and you get thrown into this pool of amazing people, driven people, ambitious people. And then when we were in the boot camp, we had the task to go out and just interview persons. And for me as a introverted guy, this was my worst nightmare. Like I had to go out on the street, knock on people's doors and get some information out of them. And our task was to interview people about education in public services. So we started knocking on the doors of police stations, and we went to 4 or 5 police stations, and you don't even get to see the people. It's just a doorbell, you ring, and then there's a voice saying, "Nah, sorry, you have to talk to the press people, we can't talk to you." We were just really destroyed after the 5th police station. But yeah, we managed to press on and did a little pivot to fire rescue controls. And those people were so amazing. Like the first station we went to, they welcomed us and showed us their cars and talked about how they handle education in their job. And yeah, that was just an amazing breakthrough after such a uncomfortable time.
That sounds like a lot of fun and like really like a journey you went through.
Yeah, and in the end we got photos in front of the fire cars. So.
Oh, that's amazing. Annika, did you have a similar experience with Manage More?
Well, I didn't get a photo in front of a fire car. Unfortunately, I would have slidden down that thing though. That would have been fun. No, we had quite a similar challenge actually. For us, it was about a kindergarten matching system. And so we basically went into every single kindergarten, public kindergarten in Munich. They were really open about their problems though.
Because there were many, or?
Yes, we also talked to a lot of parents and they were really exasperated about like the way the public matching system, which actually isn't there, happens. So that was actually quite bit more revealing than talking to a doorbell.
Interesting. And Annika, I also heard that coaching helped you a lot with on your journey with personal development. Maybe you could share a bit more on that?
Yes, absolutely. So perhaps if I go a bit back, I did my bachelor's in another town, like a very typical business school, studied business administration, where you weren't really we didn't even have electives. So you basically put your head down, learn everything by heart, and throw it onto the exam sheet. And so I never really had much time or need to really reflect. And when I then moved to Munich and started Manager More, I got into the first touch points with coaching. And for the first time, it was really me having to challenge myself about like, what is it that I want? What is it that fits to me? Just because I'm a generalist and I sort of get into topics fast doesn't mean that, okay, yeah, you did study business administration, you need to be a finance person. I have no idea about interest and stuff. And I do have a finance master. But yeah, so thanks to Manager More and the coaching sessions I took, don't tell Claudia, but I took way more than was in my budget.
We're not going to tell her. Not going to tell her.
Yeah, no, it was an eye-opener for me to like really feel into what do I want, what fits to myself.
Really interesting. Yeah, cool.
And I think that is really, really awesome, a part of Manager More, that you can have this pool of coaches and you can try different people and really find somebody that you vibe with.
That's really interesting. Really cool. Simon, I also heard about you that you had experience with being an agile team lead. And I somewhere read that you said that it gave you a realistic expectation what being a leader is like. And this kind of also shows a little bit of self-reflection and like how to work within a team and stuff like that. Now I'm wondering, how is it now for you? How does this experience helps you now, leading a family-owned business? How is it actually?
Let me start by saying that I think the topics of personal development and developing to be a leader are super intertwined. And in that way, every part of Manager More that is about personal development helped me in my role now. With the Agile Team Lead, I learned that the hardest part for me is having the conversations that you really don't want to have, that you're trying to get away from, and you have a feeling that you need to talk to this person, that you need to address this thing, but you really don't want to because it's uncomfortable for you, you're afraid that you will hurt the person will hurt you. And I understood that when I get that sense that something needs to be talked about, that is serious and that I must do it. That's my major learning from the Agile Team Lead.
So that helps you a lot in real life?
Yeah, it's fortunately it's not every day, but it does help me, yeah.
Those are really interesting insights. And I'm also curious to know, Annika, what you would say, as you have now specialized on coaching, and you also talk about self-leadership a lot, as we've just heard. And I'm just wondering what, maybe like also deep down, what led you to that decision on like really pursuing that more and like deep diving into that?
Into coaching?
Yeah.
So funnily enough, I also did the Agile Team Lead. I was actually the first batch, so we were still the guinea pigs back then.
Old sock.
Huh?
Old sock.
Oh, we were the old socks, yeah. But I don't know, I was always drawn to leadership positions. I never really understood what leadership is though, because, get these fancy titles, head of, director, blah. But what managing or people management really is about is, in my opinion, putting yourself back. Like you have your own problems and then you have the 10,000 other problems from your team, and that's what it's really about, giving your team stability. And being like a very early employee in a very new company, obviously that brought me into a leadership position really, really fast because you grow with the company. So I built the customer operations team within Fähnle and got thrown into like a real proper, not student team leadership position, but like I was actually paid to be a manager really, really fast. And that brought me to like really to my limits and beyond, because I feel like it's a bit what you just said. There's no job in the world where you get faced with your own patterns, with your own limitations and perhaps even like traumas as fast as in people leadership. Mm-hmm. And that really fascinated me because I love empowering people. I love the interaction with people, of being a leader, but honestly what I loved the most is how much I learned about myself. And because I always had the privilege to like be accompanied by great coaches and saw how much it helped me, and because a part of me always wanted to be a psychologist, I think, I just decided I really want to do that job. I really want to help other people like I have been helped. And that's why in the end took the decision to specialize into coaching.
That's really exciting. It's really, really cool that you kind of found your way back into kind of doing something similar to like psychology or something.
Yeah. I mean, going back to uni would be a bit the longer way of doing it, and I always try to like find a shortcut to go back to it.
You mentioned that there were also hard times with that, like that you said that working with a lot of people has also, you were faced with a lot of like difficulties that was very difficult for you. How did you overcome this? Like what helped you?
What helped me? That's a good question. I think mostly, so in my opinion, you cannot lead others if you can't lead yourself. And the best way to lead yourself is to get to know yourself, and to meditation helps. To like, you've got a you've got a something that triggers you. You've got a trigger, and you don't react to it immediately, but you need to grow and mature to get that space in between the trigger and the action, to like really dive into yourself. Hey, what's happening with myself right now? Why am I don't know, inclined to snap at the person, or why am I about to cry, or and then like, what are my values? How do I want to react in that situation? And then like consciously make a choice. I think that journey towards that, and I'm not there yet, and I think it's a lifetime journey to get there, but that's helped me a lot.
Thank you for sharing. Simon, what do you think? Because Annika has also kind of mentioned her side of what leadership means for her. What would you say, what is that for you? How would you define that?
I do agree that first you have to be able to lead yourself. And I think that part of leadership is giving other people the space to develop. And for that, it's good if you have already developed in some areas to a point where you can then provide that safe space. Because, for example, imagine more when you are in that situation where you are in a lot of uncomfortable situations. You have to get out of your comfort zone and start doing stuff that you wouldn't do otherwise. That is a perfect example for the learning experience that you will also have in your job later on, or in leadership positions, but with the difference that you get a safe space, and you get that provided by the program. And if you have a good leader afterwards, then they will provide that safe space in your job for you, I believe. So that's what I'm trying to work towards, to really build the relationships that allow for failures and that allow for people to grow out of them.
Have you yourself had like negative experiences with like bad leadership, where you were not able to grow or were like forced to do something? I don't know.
I would say partially, because the way that we often see people come into leadership positions is you're paid to do something in the executive level, and you work and work and work, and then you do that thing really well, and you get promoted, and suddenly your job is completely different, because you're not working on something anymore, you're working with people. And that leads to, leadership that doesn't really provide too many safe spaces, I believe.
I agree. It's also, I don't know, it's something in at least German company hierarchies, that there's this way that the best person in the profession, I don't know, the best engineer, suddenly becomes promoted to be a people manager. And it's just two completely different jobs. And also, sometimes people are not happy. Like, they want perhaps the title and the promotion, but like, they want to work on the code and be like a really, really senior engineer, but they don't want to do the people management of stuff. So I'm really a big fan of companies that have understood that concept and go for like specialist versus management careers. And I was also always challenged with the fact that there will be a time when I have to manage people that are more senior than me, that earn more money than me. And that's fine, because my job is to be the people leader, the what do you call that? The
orchestrator.
The orchestrator, yeah, the orchestrator.
That's really true. Maybe to wrap it all up, what would be maybe your one or two advices for the upcoming Manage More scholars regarding leadership? Like, what would you say to them?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Upcoming leaders of tomorrow.
I would say find a space where you can get honest feedback and try stuff. And don't be afraid to fail, because that is part of the process.
Trust the process.
True.
I think the most important thing that if you really want to develop into a leadership position is to allow yourself to stay yourself and not try and imitate some thing that you think a good leader should be, but like it really starts with authenticity and allowing yourself to be be your true self, to be real.
Thank you both. I would have loved to talk more to you guys, but yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for your insights. Thanks for being part of the Manage More community, and I hope to see you on one of our next alumni events. Yeah, we're gonna have some chats there, I hope.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, are you interested in innovating yourself and shaping the future as well? Become part of the community and apply now.